Welcome back to In Focus Kentucky. We're still here with the DePaul School's head of school, Tony Kemper, to discuss how the school is helping children with disabilities and also the Dyslexia Toolkit bill recently passed into law. The administrator, how do you define success, but then how does that trickle down to the students and their next level?
Right.
School?
Well, success is a key word for us. We actually have a class that we teach daily called Personal and Social Success. So while we measure success with good, reliable, standardized assessment throughout the year or at the end of the year, whether we have extraordinary assessment throughout the part of the lesson, our teachers are tremendous lesson planners, and they're even stronger, I think, in assessing what students have just shown, which then leads to the planning for the next day's lesson, okay? So that being said, we have different ways to measure success through conventional assessment, but also we're looking at building student success, and that's part of our reputation. Folks to whom our children matriculate, high schools for example, will say that our students are the best students they receive. We teach them explicitly how to learn. We teach them how to advocate for themselves. We teach them how to independently problem solve. And that's a key part of success as we define it too. We're not just teaching them to be readers, while that's important, or mathematicians or historians or scientists. We're teaching them to be citizens. So we also have a very vibrant community service element of our personal and social success class, where we're teaching them, instead of being passive, you're going to be active. Instead of being recipients, you're going to be givers. You're going to be benefactors. And for kids who have been, frankly, pummeled as being unable or different, the ones who sit in the back of the room, the ones that are pulled out, to help them understand that they can be vigorous and positive influencers in their community, that's a big success takeaway for us.
And let's talk about the House Bill 187. It is a new initiative, that is a new law that will be providing dyslexia toolkit to the school districts throughout the state of Kentucky, public schools. Your school, obviously not a public school, but what's your feedback on this new law and that the state is working on in our state, in our communities?
We're very excited. I can say our entire school community is excited. There's so many children throughout our Commonwealth that need to be served. And a private independent school like ours in Louisville may not be accessible, and it isn't, to everybody throughout the Commonwealth. I think one of the keys, Mario, as I look at the legislation and as I hear the talk and the waves coming from the passage, is this emphasis on highly qualified and comprehensive assessment that's going to lead to earlier and earlier identification of children as early as kindergarten level that are starting to show that gap between their ability to be students and their actual achievements. And so that early identification, that's where we can catch students before they fall, before they fail. That our school, DePaul, is one of the very few schools of its kind in the nation that actually offers a kindergarten program. And it is for that reason. We can identify children who are either already diagnosed through professionals or who are showing an at-riskness. The yellow light is already flashing. If we can work with them K and 1, oh my goodness, they're going to be able to return to their second grade classrooms never having known what it feels like to be the last one to finish an assignment, or the one that never gets homework in on time, or who can't read the very words that my buddy sitting next to me can read. That's fabulously important and exciting.
Now, your school is kindergarten through 8th grade.
Yes.
So with that being said, the enrollment, what are the numbers for your school? But also, is there a waiting list for students that are, or families that are wanting to come to your school?
Yes. Our enrollment at the end of last year was about 205. We'll have about 210 to 215 this year. We are, you mentioned K through 8. Each grade level, for example, second grade, last year we had 2 second grade classrooms, total of 14 students, okay? Now, that sounds like we can take more children, but actually we could not, because as we assess the children coming in, we have to provide them with groupings for all of their subjects where their needs are really going to be met. So at different times, for example, last year we had 19 students in our 2 fifth grade, what we call Team 5 classrooms. And we were on a waiting list the rest of the year, as early as October of last year. There will be years when we've identified highly qualified teachers and we can begin training them and then add them into our faculty mix, say in November, December, January, and that allows us to enroll more children. But it's a very dynamic school population.
And want to get your feedback on the funding initiatives that and campaigns to raise money for the school, and talk about that and kind of how that process plays into the overall campaign over at the DePaul School.
So for us, as a private independent school, we have largely two sources of revenue. One is tuition. The other is through benevolence, generosity of friends, alumni families, foundations, and organizations in Louisville to whom we've proven our importance and have demonstrated the outcomes that are so important. So we receive no tax dollars. We are a private, independent school. We are governed by an autonomous board of trustees, about 20 community members, friends of the school. We're the ultimate high wire act, and we're our own net.
And for our viewers that want to learn more about the DePaul School, how do they do that?
DePaulSchool.org. We'd love to have you visit our website.
Hey, we really appreciate you joining us here on In Focus Kentucky to talk about the work that your school is doing in the city of Louisville.
Thanks, Mario, and thanks for visiting us.
Hey, it was a great time. I appreciate it. Coming up, we'll speak with the co-sponsor of House Bill 187 to see how this bill came about and to find out if there's any more legislation that's coming up that will help children with disabilities in Kentucky. Next on In Focus Kentucky.